2022 GSL Season 2. Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, live. 2022 GSL Season 2.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another day of the GSL Codas. We're now in the round of 6. Feels kind of weird to say.
Dude, just start the games already. Okay, you know what? I was just thinking to myself before we went live, I'm like, I wonder if Tasteless will want to waste a bunch of time talking or we'll just start the games. And here we are, Tasteless.
I've got these little pedals on the floor that I control the show with.
He observes and everything.
People are screaming,
running
start
production.
the game, and I'm like, I've got more to say.
You're like that, the guy, you've seen those before, like in old movies and stuff, the guy that like walks around New York City, he's got like the whole orchestra on his back, he's like doing the cymbals and playing the piano. Oh, man.
And now also casting a game.
Yeah, observing it and everything.
Observe the whole
doing
thing.
the production.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tell you, I really do want to get it started, see who's going to that round of 4. Obviously, we're getting a Terran no matter what.
Right.
Today we're going to have a Terran versus Terran, a Zerg versus Zerg, and a Terran versus Zerg.
No Protoss today.
But we don't know who's going to advance.
No, we don't. But I think all these matches not going to be created equally here. But yeah, to start this off, we are going to have a TVT here. And it should be an interesting one here. And again, the Protoss that remains here in the round of 6 is Hero.
Yes.
He's the one
we won't be seeing him today. But,
right, of course. But there is still Protoss presence here in the tournament.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. A much better racial balance than last season. Last season we had no Terrans in the round of 6.
Which is kind of funny.
This time we have a Terran, a Protoss, and a Zerg all going to be in the round of 4, and then either a second Zerg or a second Terran. So pretty good. And yeah, I mean, the top players right now are looking insane. Like Hero, Dark, and Maru all look like they could win the season.
Oh, yeah.
And then Bunny and RagnaroK both look pretty darn good.
They could cause some real upsets here for sure.
I mean, DRG's here, and I love DRG, but I do think that he is pretty outclassed by their, maybe not super outclassed by RagnaroK and Bunny, but
I think RagnaroK's a few points ahead.
Yeah, I put him a little bit ahead, and I put Bunny a little bit ahead. But I do think that he's probably the weakest link in this round of 6. But dude, 2 round of 6s for him and RagnaroK.
Yeah.
And Dark, of course, as well.
And I do think if I had to pick a favorite out of everybody that we've got, I think Dark is slightly favored over like Maru and Hero here. He is, and look, Dark always looks really scary. He always looks really strong, but I think especially this season, he has risen to the very top of what a Zerg can be.
Yeah. The way that the bracket works here, by the way, if Maru advances at all, he will be playing Dark in the round of 4. So there's no chance of Dark versus Maru in the finals.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is all impacted from how the tournament unfolded earlier on.
That's right. Basically, the winner of the winner match will not play the person that was in their group.
Yeah.
So Maru, if he gets through, will play Dark, and if he doesn't get through, Bunny will be playing Hero. So no matter what, the second place person tonight will get Dark. So it's unfortunate that that is completely impossible to see a final between those two, because I think that would be epic, but yeah, well, I just wanted to throw that out there so people aren't sitting there like, well, I really hope we get a Dark Maru final.
That cannot happen.
Yeah, that's about as likely as me versus Tasteless in the finals, okay? It's just not going to happen.
Now, I do want to point out for the 2 mirror matches that we have today, these could be one-sided. These very well could be one-sided. I think Bunny's very good, but I think Maru is really sorry. I was thinking of the wrong games. I think Maru really is.
I know what you were thinking
of. My favorite fan fiction, Artosis. No, I think Maru really is a league ahead of Bunny. As good as Bunny is, he does seem to be, right now, in Korea especially, like, I think Maru is the best TV tier by a lot.
Oh, dude, Maru's better than everyone at everything. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, Bunny's really good. He's in great shape. I think that I felt like he was the second best Terran for a bit until Kira really popped up, but honestly, he looks better than Kira again. So I would say that he's second best Terran. But I agree. Like, I think Maru is so head and shoulders above everyone else. It's been this way for a bit. Like, I think the only Terran that really has been a similar level to Maru is TY.
Yeah.
That's it. And he's been in military for a while. So.
TY has been right up and around the same rank. TY does have a different play style, but yeah, I mean, on that kind of insane level. Innovation's been in and out of there, in the past.
I think in the super modern era, I think that both Innovation and Beyond fell out of that tier.
I agree.
Or he rose above that tier is what it is.
All right, guys, we're going to go to Hardwire for map 1. This is a best of 5, Maru versus Bunny in a TVT.
Onside Gaming, Maru. Team NV, Bunny.
You know, that meme, play like Maru. It's
or play like TY.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, like how much better Maru is at Terran than everyone else. And it's something that we have in Brood War as well, where it's like Flash is so much better at Terran than everyone else. It's like not. It's kind of a
like
weird
the 4th race thing.
Yeah.
You know, or the people used to call Moon in Warcraft 3 the 5th race, where it's like, well, what he's doing, it's like we don't really have anybody that can kind of replicate this.
Yeah, I heard about that as well. It's an interesting topic, right? Because they're like really, it's hard to really perfect everything with the race, and then you have someone that's so much better than like the second best player of the race, and it's like, what? Like, how does that even happen? You know? So I think you're right. I think this is going to be a 3-1 for Maru, because I think Bunny's good enough. He can take a game. You know, you have the build orders hitting each other and button heads, and I could see Bunny taking a game. But if Bunny takes the series, that would be a big surprise for me.
If Bunny took the series, I think that would be the biggest upset we could possibly have for this. Maybe this whole season.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, a best of 5 against Maru, Bunny wins. That's kind of crazy, and it feels weird to say because Bunny is like such a top-level player, but Maru really is on another level. And you know, this has literally never been a matchup he struggled in.
Yeah. I would agree with that. And like, let's not forget too, it's because it's the mirror matchup when he's the best player of this race.
Yeah.
It's like really different. Like I could see him losing a best of 5 to a Protoss player that's worse than Bunny or a Zerg player that's worse than Bunny.
Yeah.
But when you give him the mirror, it's like, okay, well, you guys have the same stuff. So it's at this level, I just don't see how Maru loses to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, except obviously again when TY was active, like his TVT was god tier, but no, he's just
It's hard to imagine, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing, really. I think that this is going to be probably one of the big tests now for Bunny. I mean, you know, a lot of our other great Terran players, a lot of them are doing their military service now. You know, we expect most of them to return when that's done. But you know, Bunny, it's kind of created this vacuum where Bunny really is one of the other great Terran players that's out there. But let's see how this this whole series pans out. It doesn't seem like anybody on either side is doing anything too surprising right now. These are all pretty generic openings.
Yeah, everything looks pretty fine. Plenty of Hellions and Reapers out on the map. I mean, this is all pretty standard for the openers. The second Rax for Maru. That's kind of quick. Let's see what he ends up doing with that. Can't really get in there.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is pretty even. It looks like Bunny, or Maru, excuse me, may try anyways, but, you know, unless you had some kind of insane engagement, especially with units that attack that fast. Kind of hard to imagine.
Yeah, you go in and he's trying for the volley, and if Bunny doesn't react really quick, maybe you get a unit. And
yeah, maybe you can, like, pop a few towards you and then pick that off.
Possibly, yeah.
Snowball it, but it didn't work out. Cyclone about to finish now for Maru. He may actually come out and attack again with that. The Cyclone can be used as, like, a really kind of all-around defensive unit, but it also can be used for some of these jabs early on. I think we saw that especially with Gumiho, but I don't see any reason we couldn't see Maru try something like that here as well. By the way, same thing here for Bunny. So, I mean, behaviors on both sides very much mirrored.
This is kind of, this is a little bit interesting, I think. Maru with that second Rax getting stim and producing 3 Marines at a time, so a little bit heavier on that. No siege tank for him, instead just the Cyclone. And, I mean, he's going into Starport now, too. So it seems like his build is much more based off stim, and he doesn't have that all-important Raven, right? That's like a big part of Terran vs. Terrans, having those Ravens early on. They can fix so many situations for you. But here comes Bunny now. Drops his siege tank off.
Yeah, and he's going to start chipping away over here at the reactor on the starport. Now, there should be enough that Maru can pretty much brush this off. And he is going to be able to actually gun down this tank on the low ground. This is looking more and more like it was a pretty egregious decision to go for this, right? I mean, he's just kind of... You don't really see that nowadays many 2-base versus 2-base where one guy can actually get a leg up in a fight. There was a period in TVT where, that's funny, there was a period in TVT where we saw this a lot, where they would like come in and try to shoot down the stem. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I don't know, it's just, you just don't see it pulled off that much anymore. So that was a pretty big error.
It was just, it kind of looked weird.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure exactly what he would, like, do you think he was just going after an add-on? Like, what?
I don't know. I mean, he literally was going after an add-on. He tried to get the reactor,
yeah,
but it didn't work. But
well, I guess I'm more asking, like, what was the overall goal? I guess it must have been to just grind down a little bit, like gain a little tiny edge or something. But it just,
I feel like he's behind now.
Well,
you know?
I mean, if Maru is, here Maru happened to get more Marines out because he was going for, the quicker stim and everything, but. Let's say he did a normal build, then he has his own siege tank and a Raven. Like, are you going to do something then? No, it's going to be worse, actually. So
yeah,
what is he?
I was surprised to see him do that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it.
No, I'm not a fan. So the third CC has been made over here for Maru. So Maru beginning to kind of inch ahead here.
Well, he has the much more mobile force. Again, no air control. This is Vikings and Ravens heavily here for Bunny. And, like, it's certainly useful, but Maru with stim this quick, he does have, like, I guess you wouldn't call it exactly map control, but maybe he has some, ooh, hold on.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's actually a big move right there from Bunny. Okay, picks off both the siege tanks, and he kept his Raven alive. I mean, this looks pretty darn good, and Bunny's making a good argument for why we normally see these more teched out openers rather than Marine-heavy openers. Is Maru actually going to be in trouble here? He does have heavy Marine production, so maybe he has enough to just bust through.
Yeah, let's see if this actually works. I mean, this tank, especially in the back, really well positioned, but the infantry are going to spill through. And this is just going to be another big win here for Maru.
He does lose 13 SCVs, but he's actually barely down to workers and has a massively bigger army.
Yeah, it's okay to lose workers if you're still going to be basically, ahead in the long run. This third CC just going to be landed. And I think even more importantly, the tank count is now superior here for Maru. So I think Maru's got a real opportunity to come in here and at least force this command center away. At best, maybe actually just shoot it down once the brains kill the tanks off.
Yeah, he's going to be able to pop that one tank, and this other tank as well going to end up falling. And look at that. I mean, that's going to be game. So here's my take on what happened here. Maru did a more Marine-heavy opener, which is not common. Everyone goes for Raven openers right now, and they'll have the tanks, they'll have the Ravens. There's that little back and forth that you see, like, oh, now the Vikings hit, now there's an auto turret, now there's a disable, this type of thing. And Bunny, with his very technical army that he's used to using in TVT, twice went into Maru, and both times Maru just kind of overwhelmed him with the Marine count, and then just insta-killed him because he actually has production and Bunny does not because he's still in the tech phase. So I think Bunny really not ready for this type of play that Maru just showed. And it's not common, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it did look like, honestly, Maru just, he didn't even have to really do that much. Everything Bunny tried backfired. It was basically Maru defending so well that then the counterattack just closed out. Pretty straightforward TVT. A little bit shorter, actually, than I thought it was going to be, by the way.
Yeah. Well, after that first attack, I was like, okay, everything's going to kind of stabilize. And then Bunny came in again, and Maru just cleaned it up, and bam, got him.
All right, guys, Cosmic Sapphire for map number 2.
Onside Gaming, Maru. Team NV, Bunny.
Right. You know, even though that was very Maru-sided there, very quick, very one-sided, I feel like that game shows GSL with family. The best way to do it, man.
I love that. Brought mom.
That's awesome.
Love it.
That is awesome. I show my kids StarCraft. We were watching GSL when I had COVID, tasteless.
Oh, yeah.
Explaining to my kids what you guys were talking about. Why is Uncle Nick there? Who's that with Uncle Nick? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to ask him, don't you worry. Yeah, I feel like that last game actually was a really good, not explanation, but like, I feel like it really showed like the power of modern TVT openers, because even though Maru like snapped like everything Bunny was doing right in half and then killed him, Maru, like, it felt like Maru needed Bunny to do those things because Bunny actually was getting much better stuff overall. Like, he had air control, he had the Raven, he had more tanks. You know, he had all these great things going for him, but then he just threw it all away in 2 attacks, and then Maru killed him. Whereas if he doesn't throw it away, then it's almost like Bio versus Mech, but actually Bunny will have plenty of Marines too, so you can't really outmaneuver him at that point. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Maru's not going to want to play like that again, and I think Bunny just needs to take it a bit slower if Maru's kind of playing off.
Yeah, it does seem like, again, that whole first game, it's not like Maru had to do any one thing that was very special. But clearly everything that Bunny had prepared for totally backfired.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a third CC right away here for Maru.
Into a second Rax right away as well.
Yeah. So we want to watch now and see when is the third, or if there is even a third CC that's going to be started here for Bunny.
Well, there could be. We'll see. He's getting the starport, so I think he's going to do, again, a very kind of standard opener here. Maru, I feel right now like I'm watching Terran Rogue play.
Terran Rogue, I like that.
Terran Rogue, because, like, for instance, remember the Maru Rogue finals and how terrible that was, where no one was going Roach for the longest time, and then Rogue did Roach like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, Maru probably didn't practice very much against this type of thing, and so you took all of his practice and you wasted it.
Well, this is why these alternative compositions are so strong. If you get somebody who's very good with a kind of alternative comp, because, yeah, whatever they have been practicing against or whatever they're used to, like you said, it doesn't really matter because now they're playing a completely different game. And so a lot of these obtuse play styles can be extremely strong when they're mastered very well.
Yeah, and the thing is, even if they aren't mastered at the same level of what your opponent has mastered what they're doing, it doesn't matter because you've practiced against the standard and they haven't practiced against what you're doing, right? Like, or less at least.
Yeah.
And look at Maru here, right? Like, look at Maru's build. It's like a TVZ build or something. He's gone 3 racks.
Yeah.
It could be TVP or TVZ. If you just show me his base, I would tell you this is a TVP. I'm like, oh, it's Bjorn playing TVP. I don't know, man. I don't like this build, but like. Here Bunny is, he's getting like a Raven. A Raven doesn't really do anything against upgraded Marine Marauder. It's just, whatever Bunny practiced against, it wasn't this.
Yeah, well, Bunny's going to go for kind of the same idea again here. Now, Stim's not done. I believe the last attack that we had in Game 1 was, it was after Stim had finished here. So this is not going to be that easy to hold, but so far Maru's basically doing a really good job of staying out of range.
Yeah, he only put a single depot over there, so he's making him completely commit. And then, like, if he just waits for Stim, he will erase this army.
Stim's like 10 seconds out.
Yeah.
Now, maybe he can actually get it here. Hold on, he's going to repair it. You know, we've talked about this before, but a lot of times attacks like these are sort of hinged on denying Stim. But he is going to lose the barracks.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Yeah, this is actually right before Stim's done.
Looks like he decided he needed to go. And he will end up losing some SCVs here. He kills everything off. Yeah, like Bunny really pushed it there. So I guess that actually did end up working out for Bunny overall, but Maru's not dead.
So we're going to have 1-1 finish up now here for Maru. The harassment's going to continue on here. It's a meager worker lead, to be honest. Dude, he's got to be careful. I can't believe he even looped back around with that. So low on HP.
Well, with a 3 command center, you refill really quickly.
We see that catch up pretty fast.
Yeah, we see that all the time where, like, if you do one of these roach attacks against quick 3CC and you don't kill them, I mean, they're filled up on workers again so quickly. It's crazy.
Okay, so we're going to have both sides move out, and it looks like Bunny could end up, and Maru as well, both unintentionally engaging with each other early on. That Marine's going to tip him off. I don't know if there's quite enough over here. I guess he can just barely avoid the siege mode there.
Well,
nicely done.
I think this is what Maru's doing, is trying to make him siege, because literally all he needs is combat shields and these 2 medevacs, and he will crush this.
Yeah.
Like, he's got 1-1, don't forget.
There really is an art when the Terrans come in at you to just force them to siege and then run back. Since the whole army is hinged around, having siege tanks that can shell a certain target. If you force them to siege and run away and they can't, like, shell your command center or something else like that, you're basically buying yourself a lot of time, especially if you can force them to siege a couple times.
Dude, I feel like I'm watching MMA right now.
Yeah.
Remember MMA used to always go Marine Marauder even against Marine Tank, like very oftentimes?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. But look, he's going to flank this, and I think he's just going to annihilate it, honestly. See, he's coming around for the flank right now. Double Liberator in there. That's crazy. Okay, here we go. The Stim comes in. SCVs go up to the front.
Oh,
the auto turrets are insane here, but he will kill everything.
Yeah, and it looks like the 1 medevac's going to get away. I don't think he's going to try to loop back in and dive in for an attack.
Does Maru have to attack right now? I think so.
I feel like it would certainly be worth it, especially with the 3rd CC landed over here.
He's down 20 workers.
Bunny's done a much better job this game. This is definitely looking like what he wanted to do from game 1, for sure. Game 1 was everything was kind of backfiring. Game 2, it seems like each attack has sort of worked out.
Yeah.
Now, 2 more auto turrets are going to come down. The auto turret play is really important here because it's basically giving Bunny just enough sustain every time to be okay.
Yeah. Bunny is doing fantastically here. He is up in pretty much every metric. Let's see if Maru can get something done. Tries to stim forward. I mean, his Marines will absolutely destroy here. I think that you have to be a little bit careful. Bunny does snipe the siege tank, which is what he was going for. Has to maintain that siege tank presence. You can't be fighting with your Marines against theirs. Down 2 upgrades and combat shields. That will never work.
Yeah. So right now, Bunny takes a pretty substantial lead. We're kind of in a state of the game where it's not exactly like Bunny can truly leverage this and try to close it out. He is banking a lot of Vikings, and he hasn't showed that just yet, which is important because that means he could have a lot more push potential later on. Tanks can shoot further than they can actually see. We should watch for that down the road here. But I think for the meanwhile, Maru's going to be able to kind of try to play catch-up here. He actually already has an extra base.
Yeah, he does have that 4th base making, doesn't he? I guess it just started, so it's going to be a little bit before it's mining. And his workers are not that far behind, but his supply is down. He is down in siege tanks, no doubt, which is an issue. And kind of like I said after that first game, like, I didn't think he should do something like this again, this Marine-heavy stuff, like he's skipping Ravens and everything. And you can see that Bunny has already adapted to the weirdness of how Maru's playing and is doing so much better this game.
Yeah.
So, like, Maru's chances here, I mean, he's still got economy. He's still got units. There's still some fight to be had.
Yeah, I mean, this game is far from over. That much is for sure.
But, I mean, if I were to put money on someone, it would be Bunny.
Yeah, Bunny's looking very strong right now.
Even
though Maru's...
sorry.
No, you go ahead.
There's a reason the metagame is the metagame. It's because it is the most robust, strongest way to play, and it can kind of deal with anything. And you see that Bunny here with minimal practice against the weirdness of Maru is doing okay. He's looking good.
Okay, so once again, we're going to have a little bit of an engage. Looks like Bunny's trying to err on the side of caution. He knows he doesn't want to overextend here and kind of throw away his chances. Two medevacs are going to go ahead and loop around, and they're probably going to be headed right over here into the main. Now, while that's going on, it looks like we are going to have a small push come up here. It seems like Maru wants to, you know, or at least is flirting with the idea of committing onto this area.
He's got to get some damage with that. This little drop that Bunny has coming feels like it can almost end the game. Like, it looks so strong. Imagine if he gets those eBays, for instance. That's one of the big things Maru has going for him is the upgrade advantage. So if he could get rid of that, it's huge. Not many units at home for Maru to deal with this either.
Okay, he's going to drop over here. And I got to say, honestly, Maru's kind of already ready for this. You know, he's got tanks in siege mode. They're very well positioned. It would be huge if you could get this attack upgrade, though, here. And it looks like he's barely not going to get it.
Oh.
Big save there for Maru.
Yeah.
You know, one of the most impactful upgrades in the whole game, really.
Yeah,
oh, my God.
Attack is so good.
Just snaps that immediately.
Yeah, he does block it all. But, like, those two medevacs and Marines are not the end-all, be-all of what Bunny's doing. That's, like, kind of a side thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm still feeling good about Bunny, even after losing those two drops. Like, I don't think it's that impactful. And do you see that ghost?
Yeah,
fascinating play here from Maru.
Two more ghosts actually coming here as well.
He does have a nuke. So this might be some sort of nuke to force him to unsiege moment.
Yeah, it's almost like an old StarCraft 1 game where we'd see stuff like this.
Oh! We just saw an EMP. Not what I was expecting.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see both now, nuke and EMP. And this is going to kind of crack open Bunny's position over here. Meanwhile, Bunny with a big drop here into the main.
Yeah, EMP goes down there as well. Okay, kills a turret with the nuke.
Yeah. Even to this day, I still feel like I don't appreciate how small the actual damage area is of a nuke.
Yeah, StarCraft 2 nukes are really small.
Yeah.
And wimpy, too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a big scary army coming out. He is down 2 upgrades on the bio, right? No, just one because he did kill the eBay that was getting +1 armor. Very, very nice kill. The siege tank's going to be an issue, though. Nice disable onto that one tank.
Yeah, this is kind of a boxy area for Maru to try to come through. I think Bunny might be able to take this fight. It is a planetary, so you can't really dive too far onto it here.
Oh, but he did, Tasteless, but he did. You can't tell Bunny what to do.
He's his own boss.
This is scary, though. Like, Maru has to continually make magic happen here. He's got a lot of Marines, but not a lot of anything else. There's 9 more tanks on the other side. There's more medevacs, even. He's sitting here EMPing Ravens. I almost feel like Maru's trolling this series.
Yeah.
I know he's not, but, like, the way he's playing both of these games, like, he's like, yeah, no, I can beat him with less than 5 tanks at all times. Huh, that's a good unit, though.
Yeah. I mean, Maru it's kind of weird because he's, like, still ahead in bases. Like, even after losing that one, I'm sorry, he's even in bases. He was ahead in bases is what I meant to say, but yeah, definitely a weird game from Maru here for game 2, but maybe a little bit overconfident after the way that game 1 went.
Maybe. I think Bunny's first attack did very well. Killing that Rax was actually more impactful than it looked like.
Yeah.
Getting those SCVs early on, and then the second attack as well did a good job, even though it got flanked.
But both of these games, Bunny really opting to be the aggressor here.
There's some interesting ideas at play from Maru, though, too, I gotta mention, right? Like, you've seen him EMPing medevacs multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, if you're up 2 upgrades and your opponent isn't really healing, That's a cool idea.
Well, it seems like you'd snowball a fight super hard, right? But I think we might have seen Maru get a little bit too experimental here.
Maybe.
And like it's cool to watch, and it's fun to see that there's ideas like this at play even now after StarCraft 2's been out for this long. But right now, Bunny is in a pretty comfortable spot. Now he's going to snipe that command center. Nicely done here. There is going to be a sandwich coming up.
What type of sandwich?
Not the kind you want to eat.
It's a marine sandwich.
Yeah, it's one that Maru's
in between
gonna eat.
marines.
Yeah.
It's like 3 pieces of bread, but it's whole wheat in the center.
Oh my God, this CC's so low. I think that's just enough. I think it dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Well, Maru is now down a little bit under 25% supply here, so.
Dude, he's pretty dead.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about this. We said Bunny probably could take one game. Maybe this is going to be that game, but this is certainly closer than I thought it was going to be totally honest.
Well, I think that Maru is going to play a different style in the rest of the games. You cannot continue to go for this heavy marine stuff. See, now there it is. I think that's what he was looking for right there. He just EMP'd all the medevacs.
Yeah, that was a big catch.
And then it's like, I mean, healing versus not healing.
So even though this looks like it's sort of even with Maru tearing up the northern part of the map, you got to look at the supplies here and realize that Bunny's almost maxed out, which means if he has to take a big fight, he should be able to overpower Bunny or Maru.
Yeah, his units are better too. Like,
yeah, that's true too.
There's not a lot going on for Maru. EMPs on medevacs is about what he's got.
Yeah.
Even Bunny has more marines at this point.
Okay, another big attack over here. The Marine's a little bit misplaced, but a poor attack here from Bunny. I gotta say, man,
that was
1 or 2 more moves like that. Oh my God, and a nuke's coming here, and I don't know if Bunny's gonna notice. But yeah, 1 or 2 more attacks like that, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, that would be insane. If Maru ends up winning this, Bunny will really kick himself.
If Maru ends up winning this, I think it's going to be 3-0.
Did I say Bunny? Oh, Maru. Yeah, okay,
yeah.
no, now I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, if Maru wins this, I mean, how does he get more marine than this?
It's crazy.
Into game 3. But I don't think there's any way to win, honestly.
Now, we've got more scans coming down here. And this is like, again, it's not impossible. Let's see how he handles this. Keep in mind, the bulk of the tanks that Bunny has are actually down in this position. And they're kind of stuck here. You can't go back home with them. He doesn't have medevacs over here, but you can't push it any further either. So I do feel like, yeah, that's going to be it. All right, so he taps out. Bunny wins game 2, tying this up 1-1.
Yeah, and you can see Bunny with the smile on his face there. Like, I really don't think that Maru will continue to play like this.
No, I think that was a one-off.
It's exciting and cool in a way because it's fresh and we haven't seen anyone really attempting this in TVT. Like, the types of comps he's putting out there are closer to what you play with Bio against Mech rather than Bio against Bio Tank, because Bio Tank is just like, how can you ever beat that with just Bio? It doesn't make sense.
I totally welcome the new style, but I don't think he's going to be using it more now. I think he kind of tested that out, and it did okay, but he probably needs to go back into more conservative play, if I had to guess.
Well, yeah, I think if he just plays very normally, he's just better at everything than Bunny, so he should be fine, but he's like handicapping himself with this weird style.
All right, guys, we're going to go to 2,000 atmospheres for game 3. Right now, Maru and Bunny tied up 1-1.
I came for war.
Onside Gaming, Maru. Team NV, Bunny.
All right. I'm very excited to just see what Maru wants to go with. Because I mean, here's the thing, Tasteless. I'm pretty zen. I'm at peace with the world. Like whatever Maru wants to do, he can do. He can go Marines every game, and people would be like, "You just don't get it." I'd be like, "Yeah, I just don't get it that Siege Tanks beat Marines." But if that's what he wants to do, go for it, man.
Well, it was cool to see EMP used on Medivacs. I feel like we've never really seen that.
No, not
you know
really.
What I mean? Like,
not really. Yeah.
Almost when I saw, him getting the upgrade, I thought, well, maybe that's for the Medivacs, and I'm like, I don't even know if I want to say that. That sounds so weird.
Waiting for Professor Pardon to finish cannon rushing.
That's
for
right,
the military. Man. Professor Pardon.
Yeah.
With his hairdo right before he went to the military, he did kind of look like that.
A little bit Professor-esque, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the idea, right? If you're up 2 upgrades, it's already pretty amazing. Marine versus Marine, right? Because they shoot so fast that armor and attack are incredibly important. But then when you add in not healing versus healing, I mean, we did see one battle that went exactly how I think Maru was planning, where he just absolutely demolished the Marines. But you shouldn't really be able to get there that easily.
Yeah.
Like, I know that you're a little bit more mobile than the guy with tanks, but the tanks just add so much.
Oh, yeah. Who knows? We'll see if we have some more of that down the road here in future TVTs, but I welcome those ideas. It's funny when, like, you have an ability like EMP, right, and everybody knows, like, yeah, that's going to destroy all the energy on something, but then you never think about it with a certain unit that has energy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we're used to obviously seeing it on Templars and, I mean, everything Protoss is, it destroys shields as well, but then when you watch that, it's like, oh, now there's all these new ideas I hadn't even thought of. I guess Medivacs do tend to clump together, especially when you're kind of boosting around the map. Yeah, and I mean, if it's Marine versus Marine and they're both stimming and one side doesn't have heal, you can way overpower stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, stim is kind of a funny ability in that, if they're being healed, you end up with this, like, spike in damage output and then a little bit of sustain that kind of lets you snowball fights. It's why stim is so powerful. Ever since its inception and Brood War, when the first expansion pack came out for StarCraft 1. But yeah, when you see 2 sets of Marines stimming against each other, which is really only a thing in StarCraft 2, it really gives you a lot of ideas, right? Well, what if you can just negate any of the heal?
Sure.
But either way, it didn't seem to pan out.
No. Maru, by the way, is...
Oh, second
okay,
start.
so he is playing very strangely again. He's getting a Raven, which we hadn't really talked about yet, but he's reverting to a more normal style here.
Yeah.
He's actually rather Hellion heavy and getting that Raven, but what is this second starport all about? That's kind of fascinating. The only thing I can think is Vikings.
I mean, I'm not sure what else it would be, right? He's getting his second Raven.
It's very hard to say, yeah. Like, I think he's just going to produce Vikings off one starport, and oh my god, he got a tech lab.
So he's going to get more Ravens or Banshees? What? I mean...
Well, I think he has to make some Banshees. You can't just go 2 starport Raven, right?
I don't think you have enough gas to have 2 starport Raven, right?
Tasteless, I gotta be honest with you. I've never tried to do the
never
math
even
on
thought of it,
how much gas you need for 2 starport Raven at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
He is making 2 Ravens.
Let's see if he keeps it up or if he switches into Banshees.
Well, let's think about it for a minute. Like, disables are amazing.
Another set.
Dude, he plays 2 games with 0 Ravens, and now he's doing nothing but Ravens. I think Maru's programming is broken.
Yeah.
We need to run a debug here, man.
I didn't expect to see anything too flashy from either of these guys here today. I mean, it's always a possibility, right? But we're seeing a whole lot of very, very different ideas.
Dude,
now, keep in mind that this is probably not something Bunny is thinking about. He's not like, well, did he get 1 star port or 2?
No, of course,
You're just not thinking about that. And then, even then, with the influx of Ravens, and by the way, yeah, I guess you can just support this off 2 bases. It never occurred to me.
He's going 3rd command. It's a lot later, but the amount of Ravens that he has, what's he got, like 8 now?
7 or 8, I think. Okay, now hold on. Okay. This is one of these moments where it would be really big if he could have actually scouted that. He kind of thought he saw an opportunity to try to fight the SCV. when really the big secret would have been revealed had the Reaper gone all the way into the back of the main.
Dude, he's going to be able to disable everything. He's going to, like, disable every Marine. He's going to fly the mineral lines, and he could throw it on auto turrets, but why not disable all the SCVs instead?
This is wild. Okay, so he's going to come out 1, 2,
okay,
3,
well, he's
4,
only got
5.
I don't know how he only has 5.
Yeah, we're like, what does he have? Like 12, 15?
He's got 15 feet.
Yeah,
Right,
like so
right
off right there. Sorry, guys.
Dude, that's a lot of Ravens.
Okay, so this is like a lot of auto turrets. I don't know, Artosis. This is looking kind of weird.
It definitely
Like,
looks weird.
We have these setups that look really exciting, and then when it comes time to actually do something, it's like, I don't even...
Well, Ravens, like, gain you value over time, right? So, like, I mean, for the long term, as long as he doesn't die right now, I can't say anything too bad about this. Okay, we got 7 now, Tasis.
Okay, he's going to come in again. I mean, big disables here. Auto turrets just overpowering everything.
Yeah, for Bunny's side, too.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
he
you know what's
throws on
funny?
his
For some
own.
reason, I decided those were Maru's auto turrets.
Dude.
I decided when I saw the Ravens, I'm like,
Yeah.
there it is. That's what he wants to do. And then I see all of his stuff run away.
Imagine if he had thrown down that many auto turrets, it would have been like a nuke landed on the army. How quick they deal damage. Oh, my God.
All right, well, Maru's going to come through here. He's managed to find some isolated tanks, which is pretty good.
This is so weird looking.
Okay, the thing is, it doesn't really seem like it's working, does it? And you know, we talked about how we like won't probably see ghosts again. It doesn't look like we are, but like now we're seeing just this sort of mass Raven that really isn't getting anything done.
I feel like I'm at the circus right now.
I feel like I'm in a weird dream right now.
I bought a ticket so I could watch Maru have someone shoot cannonballs into him, you know, like that type of thing.
Yeah. Oh, like where they like shoot him in the belly with a cannonball. Yeah.
Where I'm like, yeah, I guess this is entertaining. Like, I'm surprised he can take this much damage as he makes more and more Ravens. I mean, so many auto turrets just going down. This is the future of Terran right here. It's just pure auto turret.
Okay, so I will tell you, it's been a little bit sloppy on both sides here, to be honest.
Okay, so look at this position now. You can't tell me Maru's not ahead. He's got 4 Ravens to 1, 4 Vikings to 3. Same amount of tanks, same amount of Marines, and more SCVs. After all is said and done, and they both have 1-1? Like, yeah. I guess Maru's ahead.
But I think this is in part because Bunny's kind of fumbled these attacks a little bit here.
Bunny's probably never played against this either.
Right? Well, you know, I mean, everybody's had these games, right? Where, like, someone's doing something and you're like, what is happening? You're, like, trying to figure out, okay, what is the idea here? Most of StarCraft is you see this, you go, oh, he's going for that comp. Oh, he's going for mech.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, he's going to go for, like, a disruptor drop. You know, most things we've seen before, but when you're in not just any game, but a tournament game, and it's like, why does he have 7 Ravens?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like he's at my 3rd base with 5 Ravens when I have 3. What?
Yeah.
Like,
did he get a second starport?
You couldn't have started them before me, so I know you have a second starport.
Yeah, and then you're on the fly trying to figure this out.
Yeah. What a wild game.
Yeah, very different series. So we're gonna have these medevacs come up here. I don't know what's actually back here to defend. I think there was a clump of infantry up here, but I don't see anything coming down yet. Can you like try to just kill all these SCVs?
Some quality damage right there. Okay, the Marines are coming down, but I mean that wasn't finished, so he just forces a cancel.
Yeah.
Very nicely done from Bunny.
And that both medevacs get out. Wow, look at that. And now here comes another attack from Bunny. I don't know what to say, Artosis. I feel like if Bunny wins this here now, I mean, it's certainly going to be the big plot twist of this GSL, right?
Getting first place would be pretty insane.
Yeah. Now,
like, I mean, out of the round of 6, obviously, he would go up into the round of 4 immediately, and then,
sure, yeah.
You know, as Maru, like, I think Maru will probably still get through, but
Still, though, I mean, this
Yeah.
is crazy to me. And so
I think the game will mostly normalize from now, but the position that we're going forward from for Maru doesn't quite feel like a normal position. Like, he's been mostly defending, like defensive scuffles against Bunny, as opposed to applying pressure.
Well, 2-2's done. He's going to try to fight him back. What is the big picture endgame here for Maru? You know, he started out kind of weird, but I think at the end of the day, he's going to sort of end up in the same place anyways, right? It's a little bit different from the EMPs, right? We sort of had a funny game, too, that sort of had the surprise at the end where, you know, EMP started coming out, and it's like, well, let's just see how this works out. And, of course, it didn't. But here, I mean, the Ravens are always going to be kind of useful in late game, but I do feel like this is probably a more manageable late game in general for Maru because he's not trying to get some kind of peak tech that is going to make it that different, right? Like the EMP.
Yeah, well, there's no special sucker punch from here, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, he's still got a lot of Ravens, which is very nice. I mean, his armor shreds and disables and auto turrets still available, quite a few. And his tank count is not that far behind. He's got healthy SCVs. It does not feel to me like Maru's ahead, though. I would say that Bunny is... Like, look at the upgrades. Like, his 3-3 is a third the way done, and Maru's not quite done 2-2 yet. Or I guess he's done +2, but he's not got his +2 armor yet, and he hasn't started +3. 4 command centers being made by Maru.
Okay. Looks like he's going to try to... Oh, no. I thought he was going to run around, but he's decided instead to kind of pull back. Maru very much on the defense here. He is slowly spiking in supply. He's going to be maxed out shortly here. The big attack does come in. The siege tanks here from Maru extremely well placed. The disables go down, but big losses on both sides. A lot of the infantry just shot down immediately. The disables wear off.
How many tanks are actually left for Maru, though?
Yeah, it's not clear. I'm seeing, well, there was one. It just got shot down. I think 3 or 4.
Bunny has a lot of tanks left over.
Yeah.
And
Not a lot of infantry to support it with, though. Supply's fairly even, too.
The siege tank count is like a big measurement of the health of your army. So, I guess Maru has 3 there. We saw 1 over at the third base. Maybe he has enough that he's going to be all right here. But if at some point, you know, you're down to 2 or 3 and your opponent's still attacking you, you're not going to be able to hold all your positions.
Yeah, Bunny just basically looking for that closer, and we may be at that moment here. 3-3 is about to finish here for infantry, which is going to really allow them to just hack and slash their way through positions, especially if Maru's caught off guard.
That turret skin looks like something from Metroid.
Yeah.
Oh, nice pick off here from Bunny.
Yeah, big kill there on the CC. That's going to keep Bunny further ahead here. You know, it's weird. I'm almost in denial while I cast this. Like that Maru's A, playing like this, and B, losing with it.
Yeah, no, he's playing so weirdly. Like I explained before, though, even if he doesn't win the group, like, and he still gets through, or if he doesn't win the first match, it's not technically a group, I guess. But he'll have to play Dark no matter what if he goes forward, right? Like, I'm thinking in the back of my head where it's like, maybe you're like, oh, Dark is the one guy that can kill me, so let's try to avoid him, right? So I want to get second. And we've seen people make mistakes like that before. Like, remember DRG came in and played, he didn't realize that there was a patch. He was literally attacking Queens off creep.
Yeah, that was so...
He's like, oh, I didn't even know there was a patch. It's like, what?
What is going on?
Isn't this, like, your job? So I just wonder if it's something like that, because it's so strange how he's playing. It really feels kind of trolly, where, like, it's something you would do just to, like, tease someone you're better than, you know?
Yeah, well, it's also, it feels crappy to play against, too. You're like, what is going on? Is this guy clowning on me?
Yeah, and the answer is, yeah, probably.
That is what's happening. He's going to go for nukes here as well.
Bunny is, like, doing everything Right. He's added starports really well. Corvid reactor now. You know, he's getting range and armor, and his harassment has been on point. His roaming looks nice. He's holding that watchtower, which is actually really strong.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a real uphill fight here for Maru. I mean, he can do it. Bunny hasn't gotten the closer off just yet. Big attack in here. These tanks, enough disabled that I think these Marines could basically spill through. And this is going to be really bad here for Maru. Another critical base that could end up at least getting forced to lift. Nuke coming down here as well.
Oh, I like the nuke, but
yeah,
not sure that it will actually
well, I don't
get
think
anything.
the thing with the nuke is, again, it doesn't do that much damage in a big area, so you kind of don't respect it. You just sort of sidestep it and move on.
Bit of a zoning nuke, I guess, in this case.
Well, it didn't really zone anything, to be honest, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bunny is continuing to get damage. Single file Marines come in. He will clear this. And Maru still has good supply. He still has good SCVs. He still has good upgrades. But there's no way you could say that Bunny's not in control of this game. He's really dictating everything that's occurring. He's not under attack at like any moment. He's pushing Maru back everywhere. I think Maru does not have very long. He needs to do something special now.
If Maru gets smashed in one more attack, we're probably going to go into game 4 here. 2-1 lead for Bunny.
One thing to mention, Maru has a lot of Vikings right now. So Maru could, like, if he goes like super serious Viking tank, and like he could start to grind it back, right? Because like if you have the Viking advantage, you have that vision advantage. He still has the Ravens. Right. You can get your Liberators out. We saw he does have a Liberator right now. You can start pushing tanks back. You can start gaining some little value here and there.
Sure, sure.
Maybe he can fight back like that. And just to say, it's not like he's dead yet, but it definitely, like, look, Bunny just hasn't even been attacked forever now.
No, Bunny's been on the offense the whole time. It's basically been Maru, like, up against the ropes the whole time.
Pretty much. Last real attack from Maru was that 5 Raven, like 3 ground unit thing, right?
Yeah.
Where he ran up to the third base and then he went away.
All right, so he's disabling these tanks, but they're not making that much progress just yet. A big attack down here, and I don't see anything to defend this man. Yeah. He's going to lose the CC, but even worse, I think he's going to lose a lot of these SCVs. Oh my God. And I mean, this is an absolute massacre. Is this going to be maybe the final fight? I mean, this is so much damage. It's insane, man.
Yeah. Bunny is just applying pressure absolutely everywhere. It's kind of crazy to see Maru maintain such good supply here. You know?
Yeah.
It's actually every time I look down, I'm expecting to see him like 60 supply down, and he's just not. he's still got stuff. Erases those 3 tanks, so I mean, solid clear.
Maru is basically on like 4 bases. I can't tell if this one that's above his main is actually being mined from. I think he might have just taken it back now. But I mean, it's...
Oh, yeah. There's barely any patches there anyways.
So I do feel like this is just going to be a matter of time before Bunny closes this out. Unless Maru can absolutely like explode on the map and start winning fight after fight after fight. But I don't know. You know,
I don't think he can now.
The path he took to get here just wasn't the right one.
Yeah. Hey, his Viking count, you know, quite a bit lower. So even that advantage is now gone?
Yeah.
I mean, Bunny's just got this, man. Bunny has so much more of everything.
It's weird, too. Like, I mean, it is already kind of weird in of itself that Bunny is crushing Maru, but then it's like the strats Maru's trying seem so eccentric. And look, I mean, we would expect some amazing new stuff from a player like Maru for sure, right? But it's not working. It almost seems like it's some kind of like a cheap magic trick he's trying to pull off. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to guess a number in your head, or
yeah,
you know, and then it's like not working, and it's like, yeah, well, I guess there's a reason why people don't do this, right?
Unless you're that Magic for Humans guy, man. He can figure out what's in your head every time.
He always knows, man.
Have you watched that yet? The Magic for Dude,
no.
you have
to.
My God. He's the greatest alpha male of all time.
He really has magical powers too.
He
it's
actually
crazy.
is magic.
Yeah, all those other guys, it's like you sleight of hand and tricks, but this guy actually has access to magical abilities.
Yeah, no. Hey, David Copperfield's a clown. The magic for humans guy, man. I'm disappointed you're casting with me and not with Nimtasis. That's all I'm saying, okay?
Okay, so look, Maru's out on the map. He's going to try to push up here into the 3 o'clock spot.
Well, I like that Maru's finally out on the map, and I think he definitely needs to be. Ooh, nice little nuke. Little nuke push coming out. Oh, BCs, man.
Yeah,
That's when you know you're in some trouble right there, but I could see, you know, sometimes it's not appropriate to go BCs.
It can backfire, especially for how much supply they take up, and it's kind of hard to swap them out supply-wise if they don't start really paying for themselves.
Yeah. You never know.
They're about the slowest thing Terran has.
Until I guess they get the one warp and that's it.
Yeah.
Bunny's being smart. At least he's flying them across the map. Like when you warp them, like, okay, so you wanted them to die.
Yeah. If you fly them across the map, you can at least take a fight and then try to send them back out.
Yeah. Yamato is going to be finishing up here. Oh, just sit over the command center. Now, can Maru just take all these bases and get his economy kind of back rolling again?
Yeah, let's see, man. Again, I mean, we may have a lot more of this series to go. I mean, this is a pretty epic TVT that we're in here right now, and infantry going to come down here. Now, will he warp out in time with each of these? Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, and he just comes over here.
Oh, dude. That's sick.
Yeah.
What a move.
Yeah, well, he can now use these to help gun down the tanks, and this is going to crack open this position pretty badly, to be honest.
Oh, great auto turrets come down, but auto turrets come down for Bunny as well right there.
All right, even guns down some of these extra tanks. Bunny right now at about 110 supply here. As you can see, the supply for Bunny not really wavering. Bunny is now 2-1 Artosis. This is so totally bizarre.
But Maru, for the first 2 games, made 0 Ravens, and for the 3rd game, went 2 Starport Raven. I don't know why he's using this weird stuff.
I don't get it. That was actually, to be honest,
that game looked like it was going to be normal till the 2nd Starport went down.
And like, honestly, that's kind of hard to cast. I don't even really know what the plan is, and I don't feel like we really got to see the plan. I mean, I get the idea of like, okay, you can disable stuff, you can throw down auto turrets. Yeah, obviously. Armor Shredder as well. Okay, I get that. But, I mean, one thing about the Raven is you just need a very small number of them. They're not things you want to like mass produce out like Marines and tanks, right? Kind of the cherry
maybe
on
late
the
game,
cake.
but
Yeah,
in
maybe
the early
late
game, they're not doing as
weird,
much.
man.
It's like you get a couple auto turrets. I mean, he did some good things with them. It's cool to have all those Ravens, but it felt like he had no map presence, no map control when it started to equalize, right? When it kind of came to where they're kind of at the same spot, Bunny just had a bit more presence and kept it.
All right, guys, we are going to go to Game 4, Curious Minds. Let's do this.
Onside Gaming, Maru. Team NV, Bunny.
So, I mean, let's see what Maru does, man. But honestly, you know, if this is a 3-1 and Bunny wins, it's like I can barely process that. These games have been so different from the TVTs we've casted, and Artosis, we've casted so many TVTs at this point in time.
For sure.
It's wild to me that we're seeing a game that looks like this.
Well, Maru's making these decisions, and I don't know why. It's the end of my story.
No, I mean it's
just he's playing really weirdly, and we'll see what he does this game. Because, like, I mean, I'm waiting, man, until we see that third command center start. I don't have a strong opinion because Maru, like, that last game looked to me like it was going to be normal. And then the second starport, it's like, what? What are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to imagine the third weird thing we could see that I've never seen before. You know what I'm saying? Like, where it's like, what's the other bizarre thing you could try to go for that, you know, is just not normal?
Well, now you got me thinking. What could we see that would be really, really like, different?
Really fast double eBay, like,
Thing is, a lot of the weirdness just gets covered. These tech openers from Terran where they get the couple of Ravens and they have like a Cyclone, they have some Hellions and Reapers from earlier on, they go into a Siege Tank. Like, this build order has, or this general idea has evolved over a huge amount of games where it's like, yeah, this kind of has the answer to everything, right? So, and we've seen it from Bunny that it kind of does have the answer for everything. As long as he's not throwing stuff away, he's basically just good.
A lot of these standard TVT openings are kind of catch-alls for weirdness.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it can be very hard to execute that correctly, but when you start getting up to this level, Bunny's shown us he can.
Yeah. But again, the decision for Maru to go for this, I'm also puzzled by, right? Like, I feel like he should have just been able to kind of, I don't know, just do, I mean, especially after game one, right? If game one had not happened, I would be like, well, this is just a very strange day, right? But then it's like he plays normal in game one, okay, no problem. Then game 2 and 3 are just sort of these bizarre, experimental tech builds that backfire. It's like, okay, Maru, well, what about what you did in game one? Why don't you just do that again?
Yeah. Okay, so I think you wanted to know what else we're going to see, Taste. This is going to be a 2 Cyclone drop from Maru. This was a thing, like, way back. Like, right when Legacy of the Void came out. Yeah, there it is. Magfire on the way. Dude, he is just refusing to do anything that's even remotely normal.
Well, I mean, how much can he really get done with this? Again, it's another build you're just not going to be expecting. Does the okay, he sees it. Now, again, you don't see that and go, oh no, 2 Cyclones, right?
Definitely
I mean, you see a medevac out, you're probably thinking of, you know, a Marine drop or something like that.
Oh, he's going to lose this mule too. Oh, good repair, never mind.
Okay, so, I mean, he will get the depot. I don't know how much of a desirable target this really is, though, right?
I think it's like, well, I mean, it's a depot kill, which is always a depot kill. But
sure, yeah, supply blocks him.
The edge of the base now is dark. So I think that's in
Use
some
that
ways
later on for a bigger drop, you think?
Possibly. Maybe he zips up there in a little bit too. The thing is, you have to watch out. This is kind of similar to when we've seen like there's a Raven out and then someone's trying to do some sort of prism harassment. Got to be careful because if you unload and they disable your medevac,
yeah,
your stuff's gone.
Well, he looks like he wanted to go in there. Bunny being hyper vigilant. Bunny probably high on life right now, honestly, with the way this series has been going so far.
Yeah, maybe.
Knows he's just one win away from closing this out. Now, there's no siege tanks up here, so it's, you know, a bit of a dance, a bit of a back and forth here. Magfield Accelerator 5 seconds out from finishing.
Yeah, as Magfield finishes, he's actually going to, this is going to work a lot better for him. He is going mech this game, by the way. So I'm liking this game more than the other ones for him, for sure. He is an excellent mech player. And this is a weird way to open mech, but I mean, look at the way he's doing it. He's not doing it poorly at all. Ooh, I like that auto turret. Really gets him some footing up here on the high ground. Maru, I think, is going to take this one pretty handedly.
Yeah, Maru's looking very strong right now. This could be a game 5 inbound here. So the first tank's out. That's important to note because the tank is sort of the supreme controller of, you know, land in a TVT where, you know, everything else you can kind of kite and dance around and juggle against, but the tank kind of mutes all that.
Dude, these auto turrets are doing pretty darn well over here.
Yeah, man. Lots of kills with these auto turrets. Very impressive. 12, man. I actually didn't see that auto turret at the top. I'm like, how are they still dying?
13 is pretty sick.
Yeah, that's a big play there by Bunny.
Still has
both of those Ravens, too.
yeah. And Maru still has his Cyclones. He's dealt quite a bit of damage himself, but losing those workers is super painful.
Okay. Command center going to land here from Maru, so he's going to have a little bit of a base lead. He's even coming in here to confirm, all right, there's no CC here yet. And he does end up getting that Cyclone sniped, but, you know, the CC's going to land uncontested, it looks like.
He's just poking what he can, picking off anything possible. Okay, so, I mean, it should just go into just mech versus bio at this point, right? See, he's going to keep that aggression up. Okay, nice disable goes down. Oh man, bringing up his own tanks as well.
It's looking pretty strong right now. SCVs fight back, kill off that Hellion. Disable's on the tank, but the tank's not going to be killed. Again, with no siege tanks on the other side of the CC, it's just going to be more and more shelling. He comes in here, throws down some disables of his own, puts some auto turrets down. Not enough to kill this tank, though.
Yeah, just trying to buy some time right there.
Kind of
Vikings pushing back those Ravens, and he does kill that forward tank from Bunny. Some pretty massive damage being dealt.
Yeah, CC's got to get driven away here. And, you know, honestly, Maru's kind of hanging here. I mean, this is pretty good. Bunny having to do a little bit more work this time around. I guess it's, oh, and now 2 armories coming down.
All right, well, let's get those upgrades going.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I was about to say, and it seems like we're just going to go into a more and more normal game, and then I saw that, and I'm like, no, we're not.
Well, it might turn into like a normal for what normal mech could look like,
Yeah.
although it was kind of a weird opener to go into mech. We don't see this that often. I liked it, though. It was kind of neat. It was definitely a very different take.
If you're going to go into mech, you do need a little bit of time for things to pick up, so that could give Bunny a little bit more you know, ability to be kind of fluid on the map.
I wonder exactly how much practice he has playing Marine Marauder against tank here as well. Or, well, not against tank, but against mech in general. Because mech, I mean, it definitely is an opener. It's always been a general strategy in TVT. But we do not see it that much nowadays.
Yeah.
I think it's still good, though.
Okay, well, right now Bunny's in what looks like positionally an opportune moment to maybe try to strike in here. He's going to scan, but the tank spread from Maru is pretty good.
Oh, I don't think you can really break him at all.
But he's going to drop in the main here, or maybe the natural, excuse me.
Yeah, this very mobile Cyclone Force, though, going to just rip that apart. My God.
Oh, dude, I don't see anything really defending over here. I don't know if these tanks are in range of the command center, but I think they're in range of some of the minerals. We'll see. Can he actually hit those SCVs? He might actually need vision, a spotter or something like that.
Yeah, maybe just the gas for now. Could always try to move forward.
Oh my God, can he get these over here in time? Now there's only one Viking, but he's gonna drop, and it's right on top of these 2 armories. This is huge.
Ooh. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be pretty big actually. Looks like he should get at least some of it. All right, throws down the armor shred. The auto turrets die very, very quickly here, unfortunately. +1 attack, +1 armor, both gonna go down. So definitely a high quality drop here.
Yeah,
it's gonna
very
end up losing
nicely
it
done.
all, but I would say for the 1-1 and everything.
Oh, it's so worth it. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's gonna ripple through the entire rest of the game.
Yeah.
And Bunny's also now expanded down towards the bottom left. I think that's a pretty sneaky spot to try to go into. And he's going to try to just push the issue down here, man. Is there enough? I mean, these tanks are disabled. SCVs are coming down.
Oh, but there's a Liberator that just got sieged up.
I mean, he's down to 47 workers. He was even with him earlier. He just gets right out of Liberator range. The Liberator is like the one thing that's keeping Maru in this game right now. It's kind of wild.
There's like almost no Marines. It's just Marauder tank for the most part, which is obviously good against mech, but then you get something like a Liberator in there. It's going to be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, he's done a pretty good job of kind of chasing this around. Keep in mind, though, if there's enough infantry that come in, you can also just stim and dive right in, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, one Liberator's not going to make much of a difference if everything just spills through and shoots down all the tanks on the other side. Where is the rest of his infantry? He's just getting more and more Marauders. It seems like what he wants to do is take his superior tank count and basically crack open that third command center and then spill in and get kills.
I think you got to be careful if you're focusing heavily on tank production when you're playing against mech, because like out tanking the tank guy is a little bit tough, and you're putting a ton of resources in there, and it's more natural for the guy going for mech to go like Sky Terran plus tank. That's why I think we see a lot of the bio playing against mech that kind of skips tanks and goes directly into Sky Terran. It's a little bit more fluid that way, but I think that this is playable, but you have to be a little bit careful. If you get too aggressive with this, you might not be, like, Maru might be able to block everything, and then his counter is going to be very strong if you suddenly don't have many tanks and you haven't made any sort of headway into Sky Terran.
Okay, so he's going to go for another big drop, and I think we're going to see something similar to like a recycled strategy from earlier with the drop into the main and then the big push down here. This time it's going to be a drop at this fourth base that's at 3 o'clock, but let's see how ready Maru is. Maru has, by the way, caught up now in workers. It's pretty much even here. But, you know, right now, Bunny, if you look at the mini-map, it's very clear that Bunny is at a growth rate that's pretty scary. And really, we're seeing Maru kind of defend, but even if the attacks from Bunny aren't winning, what's more important, big picture, is that Bunny's expanding while doing this and outpacing Maru. So Maru needs to have a moment where he's actually going to start destroying bases on Bunny's side, or this should end up with a Bunny win here.
Bunny is actually jumping up the tech tree as well. He's adding a couple starports and getting into a fusion core. So definitely getting ready to switch this up a little bit. Maru actually throwing out a couple Thors. Okay, so I think he's actually reading this situation pretty well, right? Like the Thor is going to help out in like Viking versus Viking. Yeah, this is... this series is so strange.
It really is.
In general.
Yeah.
I'm quite enjoying this game. But yeah, I kind of agree with your assessment. It's looking pretty good for Bunny with how much the map he's taking. Yeah, he's down in supply right now, but I feel like he's taking a lot of the right steps. And as long as he does not suicide his army in, you know, that's the main thing.
Oh, don't get baited into here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, careful. Get fished right into that tank line and lose everything.
This Thor's going to be popping out. Liberator range is coming for Bunny. Producing, by the way, 5 Vikings at a time right now.
Yeah, wow, look at that.
As well as a Liberator. So definitely getting ready to fight air versus air. Which means we'll probably see his bio production drop off a bit. It can still be good to make a little bit and like try to hit fringes and whatnot. They do deal damage really, really quickly, but you know, as the game gets bigger and you're sitting at max supplies, Marine Marauder doesn't do much to these lines.
Okay, Maru's coming up, trying to just grow a little bit more here. By the way, we're almost out of bases on the map. The only thing that hasn't been taken here is the top right. This TVT is turning out to be, you know, insanely epic. The whole series, really.
You know, Maru's Terran Berserk is bleeding into his other matchups, man. Just sitting here making Thors, just not dying.
He's like, all right, when the Broodlord Infestor comes here, I'll know what to do.
Yeah. Gonna be a bit harder to play against Terran with this, though.
Yeah. Moments like this, I think you're really due to try to do some kind of an attack over here on the upper right if you're Bunny. You know, Maru basically playing from behind for most of this game, honestly. Now, you know, with them both maxed out, there should be some location that's going to be good to attack. I think Maru, by the way, just found out about that base at the bottom left. I think he had no idea about that until that, you know,
Might be right.
he flew over there. So he's going to have Hellbat drops come in here.
Blue Flame Hellbat drops. What year is it?
Dude, it's a strange series, man.
Last time I saw Blue Flame Hellbat drops, MVP was still playing.
I mean, it is slowing down mining over here.
Yeah, I mean, the drop's doing all right.
You know, like it's, it is sort of kind of working.
Sure. You want lots of SCVs in Terran versus Terran, so it could be nice to do a little bit of damage. Doesn't cost them that much to do that. And here's the Thor is just going to work right now.
Yeah, going to town here. Nice. Liberator's really kicking ass over here. And it looks like it's going to be his turn to Liberator push here. Sky dominance for Bunny. Working out nicely. The Thors are supposed to counter a lot of the Sky Terran, but once you get enough Liberators down here, the Thor has to kind of shuffle back.
Well, the Viking count is pretty scary for both sides. 21 to 19, Maru with a slight advantage. And these have been bruised a little bit for Bunny. So I do think that he had, like, Maru could push in and win that air war. Instead, it looks like he's going elsewhere.
Well, the issue right now is Maru can't really afford to lose any of these bases. He's been on less bases for the same amount of time, obviously, since they've both been in the game for the same amount of time, which means he's going to mine this out more quickly. Yeah. So any fresh bases he loses really puts him in dire straits. Now, Maru's coming here for the counterattack.
And again, he does have that bigger air army and 4 Thors involved as well, so can't really lose in that regard. There are still Marauders and Marines and Medevacs on the map, and we haven't seen those really used, but they are using a bunch of Bunny's supply. Okay, here they are.
Yeah, Marauders there, just out of range. And he's going to go for it. This doesn't appear to be the cleanest attack in here, but keep in mind, this is what Maru's been building up to this entire game. Tanks on the high ground, Thors now being microed back up to the top here.
The Armor Shred really doing a lot of work here for Maru. Kind of surprising that Bunny decided to stand his ground right there.
Yeah, that was a weird moment. Well, it was like the infantry wasn't all together. You know, you really have to be very coordinated in those kind of attacks. And so I think we're going to see this game flip on its head here. It looks like now he can push up, hit these 2 orbitals, hit the planetary, and actually get an expansion advantage here, which is pretty insane, all things considered.
Looks like he's going to kill that off. Bunny, what is your next plan? Maru backing up after getting that kill. Ooh, he brings in the tanks to the side.
So, kind of an insane game, Artosis. Like, all things considered, it seems like now we've got Bunny who's kind of bruised and battered. Again, we could have another reversal here for Bunny, but I mean, this is a weird one. Now Maru's got the entire right side of the map at 6 o'clock. And it does seem like Bunny is not able to kind of hang on to these positions that he needs to hang on to so well.
Oh, definitely difficult. The Raven's doing a fantastic job here as well. That is a huge amount of Vikings. Like, he is dominating the Viking count, but when you have that Armor Shred and then you pull back into Thors,
yeah,
very difficult for Bunny to push that advantage.
So much damage here. And I don't know, man. I mean, I almost wish we could go big picture here and see who's got, you know, what minerals at each base right now. I guess our observer had the same idea here. Because we couldn't have, you know, we had this a little while ago, but, you know, this could be a game where the map gets mined out on both sides. It's very possible.
That would be insane. I can't even imagine, like, a TVT like that.
Hey, man, it's possible, dude. All right, well, the Liberators are becoming very important here.
Oh, my God.
Man, this tank somehow barely get out of that.
Okay, we're actually getting to a really funny part of this game where the air army might actually hit being too big. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he's starting to fight his way up here.
You can't make only air units. Like, okay, he still has like 5 tanks and just a small amount of bio. You remember when the Liberator first came out, Maru actually was playing TVZ with only Liberators?
Yeah, of course.
Where they would counter all the flying units and all the ground units. I feel like Bunny is trying that with Viking Liberator right now.
Well, he is going to be able to crack open this position here to the right. And that will give him access to these 2 bases. I don't see Maru hungry to counterattack right now. All right, this is it. It's do or die, now or never.
And Bunny is pushing him right back. Another nice Armor Shred, though.
Yeah. His Armor Shreds are huge here. Now, I thought he was going to push up to the top right, but instead he's just going to stay down here. Is there actually enough in the air right now for Maru? He seems to think so. He's decided to commit onto this.
Yeah, I don't think so. He's just about... Well,
Whoa.
the Thor's coming out from the side.
Oh my God, the Vikings land here.
Yeah.
What an insane fight. And
Bunny's
suddenly,
so happy with himself.
I mean, this is kind of a crazy ending here. The big Viking drop. It is easy to forget sometimes that they can land, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
if you have that many Vikings with this kind of upgrades, like it's kind of crazy. And what he wants to do is basically push into the infrastructure. That was the plan here. Not to play a game of whack-a-mole where he's got to kill off all these different bases, but instead he wants to just go to the source of all the mech units and sit on top of that.
Certainly a great way to win. He doesn't have that many units left, but I think it's enough to be so cost effective that there's not like a lot of options here for Maru. Maru's still mining like a fair amount. Look at this, landing more Vikings here to fight Thor tank. Viking truly the ultimate unit.
Yeah, dude, a Viking ending. Wow, what a closer. Okay, I really enjoyed this TVT. It was different. You know, I was talking earlier on, like this would be like one of the big upsets of the whole tournament if Bunny wins. Okay, he did it.
He did it.
We have the upset.
Yeah, it was a strange series. Maru really out there with the type of play that he wanted to show.
Very eccentric stuff. I do leave this series with more questions than answers, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, we'll get an interview here from Bunny and see if he has answers for any of those questions.
Yeah, let's see how Bunny's feeling, man. He has 3-1 Maru, who's basically the Terran in our region, in a very impressive fashion. And I really like that ending, man. Vikings landing to shut down the factories. So cool.
Very cool.
We're going to go ahead and go to that interview now and see how Bunny's feeling after 3-1-ing Maru.
Wow, Bunny pulls off a big upset against Maru by beating him 3-1. So we're going to have an interview with Bunny of Team NV, who moved to the round of 4. Congratulations. Thank you. Bunny, this is your second round of 4 in your career, StarCraft 2 career. So I'm sure you're really happy right now. So how do you feel beating Maru? You know, after coming back from Spain, you know, I've had a rough time, you know. I was not able to practice well, but you know, after all the adversity, I was able to win today, and I feel really happy. And Bunny, you're showing great form right now out of all Terran players. And like comparably, you were the challenger in this matchup. And then you also said that Maru is like your master. So in practice, what kind of point did you focus on? You know, I kind of like wanted Maru to rush things and then for me to exploit that. So today, you know, I try to kind of play slowly and try to get ready for the late game. You know, I was not too confident today, but I'm really happy to have come out as a winner. Well, from our perspective, Bunny, you know, things were progressing really fast. You're harassing really well against Maru, like every single set. And the upgrades, and then you're pressuring the enemy's resources. Everything was going well for you. So in practice, wasn't this how things were? I really wanted to harass more. I really wanted to shake Maru left and right. But you know, today I kind of tried to resist that and try to focus on the play. You know, usually I would like not think while playing, but today I kept thinking to myself while I'm playing against Maru. Well, can't believe that you resisted the temptation, Bunny. So Bunny, I'm sure you're really happy and really proud after beating Maru. So in TVT practice, how did it go? Well, I've scrimmed with Time and Gumiho. And against both of them, I had like a 50% win rate. But Gumiho really helped me a lot with practice. So I feel like I stepped up while practicing against Gumiho. A very inspirational TVT match today, Bunny. So since this is your second round of 4 in GSL, so let's talk about your first round of 4. That was 1 year ago. And that was the first round of 4, and the result was kind of one-sided, to be honest. So how was the first round of 4 like for you? Well, at the time, it was my first time playing the round of 4. I was too happy. I was too happy. I kind of liked the practice, and I think I practiced, maybe too much, and that my condition was not good. And I feel like my preparation was not enough. So thinking about it now, I feel like just getting eliminated in the round of 20 was better at the time. And I also lost 3-0 in the round of 8 as well. So now that I've gained more experience and with more preparation, I think I should have a good shot in this round of 4. So Bunny, this round of 4, hopefully it will be different for you. Your round of 4 opponent will be your close friend. It is Hero. So how is Hero like as your opponent? I mean, Hero is looking so formidable right now. He's really picky to play against. So I really don't want to go up against him if possible, but now that I have to play against him, I'll try to practice a lot and try to prepare really hard and try to beat him and try to challenge against him. So do you think Hero will be happy that you made it to round of 4? I think he'll be rejoiced right now. I think he'll be really happy. I think he's already thinking about going to the finals right now. But whoever is the winner, I think anyone will be happy in this matchup. Right, Bunny, congratulations on making it to round of 4. And before you go, anything you want to say? Every time I come to this upper rounds, I always have a hard time. So this time, really happy to have moved to the round of 4, and I'll try to deliver a good performance in the round of 4. Once again, congratulations, Bunny. Thank you.
All right, well, I mean, what a surprise. I don't have much more to say. It was a very, very different series than what I expected. Guys, we're going to go to a break. We come back, DRG versus RagnaroK, best of 5. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.